he challenged me. He said, you should meet 2 or 3 people every day.
We're talking about how to level up on LinkedIn and engagement, being the go-giver, the idea that being open to opportunity.
We all deal with challenges, but how do you overcome that?
Master Connector with Steve Spiro and Cameron Toth is live on air.
All right, my folks, we are on here. We are very excited. I got a couple of great, amazing guests today. They seem kind of blessed to me. We're going to be talking about your destiny. Make sure that you are twerking right there with your neck, with the intros, right? We're going to network in the comments. We're going to get this going. Steve is going to get us going with the topic of the day, living your best life. Steve, get us started here.
What's going on?
There we go.
Steve Spiro.
There we go.
There we go. Thank you. They got to do that one time every now and then, right? Steve Spiro, the Master Connector, coming at you live and direct here. And I got a question for you, which is, how do you live your best life? I don't know about you, but are you struggling with that question? I got a great quote here from Oprah, and she says, there's no greater gift that you can give or receive than to honor your calling. It's why you were born and how you become most truly alive. And honestly, for years and years and years, I was self-absorbed. I was living in survival mode. That idea of living my best life, are you kidding me? That was so far-fetched for me, farthest thing from my mind. But, have you discovered your purpose here on this big blue marble, as they say, right? I know I have, and I know Cameron has, and perhaps today is the day for you. Today's the day that maybe you could kind of put a little bit of maybe dust it off, or maybe just restart it, or maybe just create it. But we're going to have a lot of fun today. We got incredible guests on our show today. We got a dynamic duo here. And I am just so blessed to have Cameron on here. And so if you're ready for Cameron to introduce our 2 guests, Marie and Tanya, I'd like you to type into the chat right now, Showtime, #Showtime. And we'll get it started. And Cameron, my man, is going to do it the way he does it big. Cameron, I'll turn it to you, sir.
Absolutely. And I'm really excited because Yolanda says she's ready to live her best life, right? So make sure you type in Showtime into the comments below. I'm going to put Tanya on the screen and introduce Tanya. Here we go. Tanya Memme is a former Miss Canada and Emmy-nominated TV host, executive producer, actress. Tanya is the founder of Life Masters podcast. Life Masters is about real-life stories of perseverance and triumph, stories of people who faced the most difficult life circumstances and found the tools, mindset, and action steps to create a life of success and fulfillment. She's the proud mom of Ava, who accompanied her mom to the home and family talk show on Hallmark's channel, Crafting for Kids. I want to introduce Marie as soon as she gets ready, right? Gets camera ready. Marie, let me know. Please welcome to the show the tremendously terrific Tanya Memme. We're so happy to have you. Want to just say a couple words to the audience before I introduce Marie?
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is exciting. You know what? That's what we do every day. We try to live our best life. So I'm very excited to be on the show today. Thanks for the amazing introduction.
John Phillips in there typing in Showtime. We appreciate you. Marie ZQ is 11 years cancer survivor, believer, wife, and mother. She is the founder of Marie ZQ Ministries, a motivational speaker, author, and the host of a weekly Apple TV show, You Are Being Tested, Do Not Worry, on Binge Networks. She's been a volunteer speaker for the American Cancer Society for 8 years. After surviving cancer, she began to pursue her dreams, motivating and inspiring others to find hope, faith, and strength, and to push beyond their limits. Please welcome to the show the amazing, the zestful Marie ZQ.
Wow. What a wonderful introduction. I'm feeling the love and the energy. Thank you for having us here.
Absolutely. So we are excited to get into this. We want to get this first question going. Steve, help me out here.
Absolutely. Well, you know how we roll in this show, right? We're all about telling your story, right? Being authentic. We're all about overcoming obstacles and having the grit to overcome obstacles. And so we want to hear from our amazing 2 ladies here on how they persevered and triumphed. So if you're ready, we want you to type in, before you ladies start speaking, we want our community to type in right now, #tell us. All right, just type in hashtag tell us. We want to hear from you. We want to know you're alive. We don't have, listen, you could be a LinkedIn lurker, but we want you typing in there, okay? Just do
Type
something,
in.
right? No LinkedIn lurkers are allowed on this show here. Get in there, get in the comments, connect with each other, of course. But let's start with you, Marie, since you were the first I decided to have on the show here. And I'd love to hear your perspective on how you persevered and triumphed.
Well, thank you for the great question. Just a little bit about me. I was born and raised in West Africa, Guinea, and I always dreamed of coming to the United States and living my dream here. Since a little girl, I believed and I spoke it out in the playground. Being from Africa, it's like impossible when you say I'm going to move to America and become a business owner. So I had that opportunity, got here, was stage 3 breast cancer in the middle of my MBA study, lose my home, lose my job all at once. What really kept me going was my faith, my positive attitude, my love for myself and my community. And I visualized myself living my best life. So I had to really do some work to really come out of it. And it's okay. All of us go through testing times, right? So what I do is just stay positive, have faith, and believe there's a better tomorrow.
That's amazing. That's great. And we all have our challenges in life, right? I mean, yes. I know you and I had a great connect call, and I talked about how I was picked on and bullied and had the learning disability. And listen, I don't think, it's funny. I heard it said years back that if you take your biggest challenge or struggle, right, and you were in a group of people and you threw that challenge or struggle into a pile, and everyone would randomly grab one of those items in the pile, and they'd be like, you know what, give me my struggle back, give me my challenge back, I want that one back, because we all have stuff, and so, but we appreciate your overcoming story and how you persevered. And obviously, Tanya, we want to hear from you as well. I know you've got an amazing story also, and how you've triumphed in a major way, being a real TV celebrity. And so tell us a little bit about your persevering and triumph story as well.
Well, it's very interesting. I mean, that's a big question, big answer, but it happens in steps. When you're at your rock bottom. I was at my rock bottom about 5 years ago when I literally walked off set. I quit the TV show that I was working on. It was a very toxic environment. I lost my marriage. I lost, everything, lost a lot of money. I had the wrong business partners, and I basically was pretty much broke, and I had to start from, and it's all public too. Like, it was all very, very public. So that's something that's very, very hard to deal with. But how I finally got out of it is the first thing I did is I had to see myself as not a victim. It wasn't anyone else's fault but mine. And, these things do happen in steps. This is what I'm writing my book about now. And, you have to, so the first thing that I also did too, the second thing I did is I got all the negative people out of my life. Like, anyone, you have to be very selfish when you're at your rock bottom. And anyone that doesn't support you or doesn't make you feel good about yourself, you have to get them out of your life. Be in nature more is something else. Get out there, ask nature, connect with nature, and also find, for me, I had to also finally connect with spirit and make the time, whether it's God, the universe, whatever that is for you, but take the time to connect spiritually with your higher self, with God, whatever that is. And that's probably 3 or 4 of about 20 different things that I did to finally get out of my rock bottom. But and this day too shall pass. Know that and believe that, because Amen. It's the truth.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and listen, that's why you need to connect with these amazing ladies when you're done watching our show, is because you want to get in and hear their stories, because they both have amazing stories. So good stuff. Yeah, obviously you talked about putting the right people around you, and I'm a huge believer in our environment and the people that we surround ourselves with, right? We are in life. They say it's a cliche by now, but if the 5 people, look at their net worth, you'll see it's the average of that will be your net worth, right? And their values are going to be more than likely your values, right? And so if you want to elevate yourself, get around better people, and people, I'm huge on supporting others, right? I put a post out the other day, and it was just like, one person matters. Reach out and just give some love to somebody. Just go ahead and uplift somebody, right? It's so important to do that. And we live in a world that there's a lot of darkness, right? There's news that we hear about, and shootings and all crazy stuff, and it's amazing that it's hard for us to stay positive, but we have people around us uplifting us, it helps a lot. And then, of course,
Oh,
I love
yeah.
what you said about getting in touch with that inner spirit, right?
Mm,
Higher power,
yes.
right? God, universe, etc. I love that as well, because huge believer in that as well. So
Yeah. You have to make time for it.
you need to make time for sure.
And I
Yeah.
did see
So
that post on LinkedIn, by the way, Steve, that
you
you
saw,
put.
yeah, I think you gave me
Yeah,
some love on that one. So thank you.
yeah, and I have to tell you, I didn't even read the bottom of it, your hashtag, but the first thing that came in my mind was light. You're being the
Yes.
light in this
Yep.
world. And I truly believe what you were saying. We can sometimes we think we need to have a lot of money or a lot of time to make a difference, but we really don't. I just want to share this because it's in my spirit right now. I had a
Please.
mentor, Rilene, who was a cancer survivor that I known when I was going through my journey of fighting cancer. She was there for me. She survived cancer for almost 15 years, over 15 years, and last 2 weeks ago she was at a party, fell and passed away, not from cancer, but just from a fall. So life is so short. What I remember about Rilene was she just making a soup for a cancer patient or calling a cancer patient and giving them hope or just the little things, being there for her neighbors. She didn't have a, she just created ways to be a blessing. I mean, she was amazing at it. So I wanted to share that if you're watching this and you're in a corporate world or you're a stay-at-home mom, it doesn't matter. We all can make a difference. The little things matter.
Absolutely, 100%. It's so true. It is so true. Um, I love that, and it's great when there's somebody that's in your life that could do that, be that for you, for
I want
sure.
to shout out to Andrea, who's saying taking your eyes off yourself and helping others around you will eventually help you. We believe in that so much. We talk about the
Absolutely.
go-giver all the time, but the
Yep.
idea that just the more people you can help, the more that's actually going to bring. And as long as you're open to receiving, I think that's a big deal, big lesson that needs to be learned. Because a lot of people are like, oh, don't, you get the compliment, you turn it away. And whether it's that small thing or that large thing, we can sort of walk you by. We always get that, that antidote of, oh, I was waiting for God to save me. The boat came by, the helicopter came by, I was waiting for God. I said all this stuff to you, right? And so being able to receive is a big deal. And so a lot of times folks are focused on, oh, I got to give, but I don't have that much to give. If you're open to receiving, you're receiving all the time, you're giving all the time. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think
can
to your
just say
point,
one more thing. I
Yeah,
know
go
right
ahead.
now a
Go ahead.
lot of us are in business and retention being so, a lot of businesses are struggling to keep their best employees. Some of them are very stressed. Even surveys shows that right now 75% of people in the workplace, they cannot balance their personal life and their work life. So the numbers are so high. So just remember, if you're working and you're in a corporate environment, how important it is to praise your co-mates and tell them how great they're doing, like Steve was saying on his post last week, because really we are all in it together. So, and if you're a business owner, you just want to keep your best employees. It starts from the way we treat them, letting them know you see them, you appreciate them. If you're a leader in the business world, those things matter. Acknowledge your employees, uplift them, let them know what a great job they're doing. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
It's not a show, Cameron, unless I throw a book recommendation out there. And so one of the books, we may have talked about this once or twice in the show, is the book is called Whale Done, WHALE, right? And it's a story about how they train these big, huge, great, whatever they're called, whales, to jump out of water, which is amazing. And they're able to train them. And it's through affirmations, right? It's just, basically the minute the whale would, at the bottom of this pool, that there would be a rope, and if the whale inadvertently swam over the rope, he'd get a fish, whatever. And then they raise the rope, and at some point, if he swam under the rope, he wouldn't get the fish. If he swam over the rope, he got the fish, and et cetera, until they got it above the water. Same idea. And so it was just through positive, affirming and just praising the good stuff. And so many people still, I see it still in the corporate arena, there you go. Thank you, Cameron. Always the man on that. They're always praising not always, but there's a lot of management style that still is punitive. It's just, you should do this, you should do this. Why not emphasize what the person is doing right and praise them for that? And they'll figure out what they got to fix, right? I mean, you could still give some positive correction, what's the phrase I'm looking for? Some, but yeah, you get the idea. But whatever, you could still give some corrections, but ultimately, people get motivated by when you're praising them. So just keep praising them. So I appreciate you saying that, Marie. We want to keep this rolling though, and I know there's a lot to share, and there's great, we have great people on the show here right now, and I just want to move on with. We're going to talk a little bit about faith, and not necessarily religious faith, although it could be for others, right? But faith can mean a lot of things. So I'd love to hear. So if you're ready, community, I want you to type in #faith, and we want to talk about what does faith mean to you, and how do you apply that in life and in business? And I can start with you, Tanya, if you like. Oh, and unmute yourself.
That was me. I was pushing buttons trying to keep all the background noise on. And we got a great comment from Andrea who's saying, thank you for the book recommendation. She was looking for something to read. So you could always depend on us for a good recommendation here for the next thing to read. Go ahead, Marie.
Tanya was going to talk.
Oh, Tanya. Sorry. Go ahead, Tanya.
So for me, faith really it really means to me believing in the unknown and taking that the step of faith forward. And because believing in the unknown is difficult. It's easy to believe in, something that we think is going to happen in the future. Or if I do this, I'm going to do that. Like I'm a big believer that the future does not exist. The past doesn't exist anymore. The only thing that exists right now is the present time. It's a present. It's like a gift, like present. I always say that. But believing in the unknown and having the courage to go and take that step forward into the unknown is where I believe faith really does exist. And that's what it is for me. Whether you're in a career change or whether you're trying to, achieve something in life, start a business, you're sitting there going, oh my God, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I don't know. But what happens if I do this? What happens if I do that? You don't know until you try.
That's right.
And you can't do it until you believe and you're willing to believe in the unknown. Because what if this happens? What if that happens? You don't know. We always say, what if, but the future doesn't exist. So remember that you create your future.
I love what you said. And I want to because sometimes I think people get a little sketchy on this topic, and they want to, they say, oh, I don't really have faith. Whatever's supposed to happen is supposed to happen, or whatever. And here's the thing, right? I say, you have faith. They said, oh, well, I don't think I do. I said, okay, let me ask you a question. What are you doing tomorrow? Let's say it's a Sunday. I'm going to work tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So really? You sure? They're like, yeah. Well, then you must have faith, because how do you know for sure that you're going to get there? Well, how do you know that, God forbid, something doesn't fall out of the sky and destroy your car and whatever, right? You have faith, right? We all have faith in the future. And
yeah,
you just got to believe.
And it changes in different ways. Sometimes you will have faith in God at that moment in your life. Yeah. Sometimes you're having faith in the universe, or you have faith in your future. You have faith in your daughter. You have faith in your son. So it just depends on what it is you're thinking about or believing in. But being able to take that step into the unknown takes courage. It takes strength. And you have to walk forward without fear. And that, to me, is what faith is.
It's one of my favorite movies, Indiana Jones. I don't know if you remember that scene where there's a scene in the movie. It's called The Leap of Faith, right? He has to do this thing, yes, and he has to step, and he steps out, and he actually gets, and it's like this you couldn't tell it was rocks, but the rocks, because of the way the lighting was or whatever, you couldn't tell. And he just
frequently duplicated in cinema too. Very good scene.
Yes. Yes. I love it.
Absolutely. Marie, I'm sure you have some great insight on this topic, I'm sure, right? On the faith side of things.
Yes, faith, I truly, in my book, You're Being Tested, Do Not Worry, when I was going through my testing time with stage 3 breast cancer, and from feeling like I was living my dream and then finding out that I was stage 3, the first thing really that helped me come out of it was my faith. To me, the definition really of faith is believe, trust, and have confidence, right? So basically those are the things that I did. I really believed that I was going to get well, and my doctors and God was going to help me come out of cancer. And I really trusted that I have a better tomorrow. I was going to get married and have kids and have a great business in the future. I had confidence that my belief in God was going to help me come out of it. So I believe that our faith really does determine our future. So if you don't believe, then what do we have? So I think it's really important to have faith, and it's not easy. We have to practice it every day. What helps me to keep having my faith is getting up every day and spending some time praying and meditating, walking in nature. Those are the things that really help me keep the faith and believe that I'm going to have a better tomorrow, that I trust and that I believe. So it takes work.
It's great. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's so important to have faith. I believe in something greater than yourself, for sure.
Yeah.
And for me, it's also a higher power. It's God. But it's okay if you're out there and you believe in Barney Rubble. That's okay too. I mean, don't believe in something. Okay,
You know, it's an interesting thing when we had the comment. This is good for the corporate environment, but it's an interesting thing, and the human mind gets into psychology, a whole lot of things. But you have a workplace, and they're bringing dogs into the workplace to lower the stress volume, and you got to think, it's not all about ones and zeros. It's not all about how productive you can be in a given day based on how you were born and what you were trying to do. There's a whole lot more to this equation and living your best life. And it's one of those things, the journey into entrepreneurship, being able to control your time, your schedule, that kind of stuff. I find over and over again that faith is so many pieces to the puzzle where you can say, I have a team, I have a family, I got a group that supports me. I don't have to do it all right. Having faith in other people, having faith that people are going to give you the benefit of the doubt when you do the right thing. Faith is such a huge piece of living your best life, right? Such a great piece for what we're talking about today. And Susan Farrago says faith can move mountains. Absolutely.
Yes.
That's right, Susan.
We love Susan on the show. Susan, we got your name spelled correctly now. Hopefully, I hope it is spelled right. I know, Cameron, we got to make sure Susan's name we've been spelling wrong at some point somehow. So hopefully we got it right this time. She was one of those users that was not identified prior, right?
Well, yeah, she's looking good to me now. I don't know. I mean, as long as she's spelling her name right on LinkedIn, or LinkedIn is doing it, I don't know. I just show what LinkedIn shows me. I'm gonna bow out. The buck does not stop here, folks. Right?
So good. Well, listen, we want to kind of transition from faith into another topic that's related, and I've got a kind of a scripture here, a quote here, not to get religious on anybody, but I just think it's a really fitting scripture. And it says, and now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. And I love that because, there you go. Thank you. But I just think it's so important to have love. And you certainly want to hear from you ladies on this topic as well. But I think number one, you got to love yourself. Super important to love yourself. You gotta love, in my opinion, I love my higher power, my heavenly Father, right? Not in that order per se, and then others. But it's so important if we could be a world that loves others, as yourself, right? This world would be a lot better, right? Because I think we're so not focused on that, and unfortunately, so. That's what our mission on the show is, to be the light, because we want to spread that love. And anyway, so I don't want to dominate. I'd love to hear, Marie, on your take on love, and then we'll go to you, Tanya, on what your perspective on that is.
Steve, I have to tell you, love is, even again, in my book, I talk about love, my belief that we all need love, and the Bible talks about it. A great example is my first daughter, Jada, who's 5 years old. We live in LA, and there's so much homelessness in LA. And I remember a month ago, we were driving around downtown LA, and she saw a lot of homeless on the street. And she goes, "Mommy, oh my God, they don't have a job. They don't have anything. They don't have anything to eat." So I stopped the car and I said, "Jada, they are just like us. They breathe just like us. They have pain just like us. They're just like us. The only difference is they lost their home. They're now on the street. I said, they're just like you. And she looked at me like, what? And I said, yes. I said, that's God is, I said, you believe in God? And she said, yes. And I said, well, they're just like us. God is love. We love them too. So I give her money to give it to them. So, but the thing is, I think I wanted my daughter to know that she's not different from them. And that's part of also loving others, is not thinking that we're better than them. When you love someone, they're just like you. It doesn't matter if they're homeless. It doesn't matter what their situation is. Love does not judge. It doesn't see color. It doesn't see even homelessness. So we're all the same. So that's how I really want my daughter to come from a place as, if I love you, you're just like me.
That's amazing. That's tremendous. I love that. No pun intended. So great stuff. Well, Tanya, we'd love to hear your, there it is again. There's that love word again. We want to hear from you on your perspective on this. And we're starting. We may need to start seeing Kumbaya a little bit here, but it's okay. It's all right.
I mean, it's difficult sometimes when people are in their rock bottom. I talk to a lot of people that are currently in rock bottom, especially through COVID and the effects of COVID. And it's hard because some of them say, well, I don't have any love to give. And, it's almost like changing your perception on it, because what living thing in your life, whether it's a flower, an animal, a plant, whatever it is, doesn't thrive when you give it love. So by giving yourself love, you will thrive. And whether it's doing it in a way where it's an act of giving. So I always tell people too, like, I'm a big believer in just planting the seeds. Like, so let's say you don't have a lot, but you can bring your coworker a cup of coffee that morning, or give someone a call, a cousin that you haven't spoken to in a long time, and just let them know how amazing you think they are. Like, there's always acts of kindness, acts of love that you can do. And it just fills your spirit up so much. And if you're in a situation where you're going through a hard time or you have to make a decision, I always ask myself, well, what would love do? What decision would love make? And it never, ever is the wrong choice. It just isn't.
That's amazing. Yeah. Not the Aretha Franklin. I think I said it right. What's love got to do with it? It's not that part of it. It's the other part of it.
It's the other part. It's the opposite. Yeah. It's got a lot to do with it.
Yes. Could you repeat that? Because that might be one of our mic drop moments here. That your phrase again. Love has everything to do with it. Is that what you said?
Love has everything to do with it.
Yeah, that's great. We love that.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, so we want to pivot a little bit here. And, Tanya, you've been talking a little bit about rock bottom. And so, which we all have hit that place, right? And a lot of us have, maybe not everybody, but a lot of us have. And I think what I've learned in life is whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But it's hard to see. It's hard to see the light, if you will, when you're in that rock bottom place. But also there's some things you can do to kind of get yourself out of there. And there's things you can do to kind of protect yourself from getting super rock bottom where it's hard to get out of it. So I want to talk about PMA, positive mental attitude, and why it's so important. But so I'd like the community to type in right now, #PMA, not the other one with the S at the end. Okay. PMA. Okay. And we want to talk about why that's having a positive attitude. And Tanya, maybe we'll start with you on that one. Why do you feel it's so important?
I mean, what other choice is there? I mean, it's not a difficult answer. It's either a positive choice or a negative choice. And it is a lot more difficult having a negative choice, and it makes your life so much more difficult. And I know, because when I was in my rock bottom, I was spiraling down when I had a negative attitude. But for me to build up, because it's really hard when you're in rock bottom, like you said, to have a positive attitude, but to start again planting the seeds in a way where, positivity just doesn't arrive overnight if you're used to having a negative victim type of mentality, which I have been there before too. So I feel like I can speak about it. But it has everything to do, to me, with what music do you listen to? Who do you surround yourself with? What movies do you watch? Like, what is going in all of your senses, your ears? What are you looking at? What are you hearing? What are you tasting? Like, everything the way that you walk forward in your life. I have made so many shifts just to raise my connection to positivity in so many ways. I have gotten rid of a bunch of people in my life. I don't watch horror movies. I just don't. I can't even watch Game of Thrones anymore, even though I loved it. I can't watch it anymore. I just want to surround myself with positivity, positive images, beautiful music, things that make me happy. And that alone has definitely changed my life.
That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't watched Game of Thrones. Because
I love it, but
I have an addictive personality, and I know that I would get hooked, and I don't want to get hooked. I really don't.
Tanya, me and you on the home. I was just like, I don't have time to be like scared and watch.
I know it's too much. I'm stressed out watching. Yeah. Why do that to yourself when you can fill your mind and your heart with beautiful things? There's so much beauty in this world. You know,
we've talked about this in the past in the show, Marie. We want to hear from you as well, for sure. But you know how the brain is a computer, and what you program it with is garbage in, garbage out. You know, how you program it, right? You can't really ever get rid of the negative that's in there, but you could dilute it. You could kind of override it a little bit, and it's still in there, right? If you try to erase a program on the computer, there are hackers that could get in there and find it somehow. So it's never gone, but you could certainly override it and drown it out. And certainly great positive music and what you watch, what you listen to, who you surround yourself with.
It's what you eat too. It's what you eat.
Is really important, right? Because
I
was trying to communicate this on a post I did, but if you ever try to think of a thought but speak something different from what you're thinking, it's impossible, right? So if you got a negative thought, speak something positive. Like I love having positive affirmations handy. So you speak that, and you just continue to speak that, and you can't have the negative thought in your head. If you're into scripture or things of that nature, that's one way you can do it, right? I can do all things through Him who strengthened me, and things of that nature that can really kind of keep you on a positive side. Cameron, it looks like you wanted to chime in there.
No, I was just going to say, combating when somebody has like a negative thought and being ready with that positive thought to turn that around, it helps you and it helps them. And it can be hard sometimes because you may not want to step on toes, but somebody says, well, this is, hey, remember we've won this 30 times out of the, this, you're going negative because this one hey, the rest of the world really is positive, right? And bringing people back. Marie, get in here on this. Stop.
Yes. Well, positive attitude. I love telling stories. And so for me, positive attitude, I put in a little bit of effort to stay positive every day, believe it or not. So when I get up in the morning, I try to get up around 5 a.m. in the morning before my husband's up, my 2 kids are up. And what I do is I stretch my body for like 3 minutes, and then I put my candle on and I sit there and meditate. And I meditate because I don't have a lot of time. I probably meditate anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. And then after that, I read my Bible for like another 10 minutes, just put some positive things in my spirit and my mind. And then I have a gratitude book, and I write down 5 things that I'm grateful for. It's usually things like I'm grateful that I get to work from home, that I get to drop off my daughter at school and pick her up. And, just every day is something that I'm grateful for. 5 things every day. So really easy. Make sure you spend time just meditating, praying, exercising, 20 minutes. I have a Peloton, and then I start my day. So it's an hour of me time. I give to myself first before I give to my husband, my kids, my community, or anybody else. I give to myself every morning first. So that helps me to keep my positive attitude. And I think it really helps. And I wanted to tell a little bit of a story. When I was going through my testing time with cancer, I was working full time and going to school. And I remember it was very hard for me to keep my positive attitude at work, because most of the time I would leave during my lunch and go do my treatment, or I had to take meds in the morning before I go to work. So it was really hard for me to keep my positive attitude. So what I usually would focus on when I'm there is that I know I'm fighting cancer, but I shouldn't put that stress on my coworkers. So I would, every time I was about to say something negative to them, I changed my mindset. Don't go there. Let them enjoy their life. So always remember, just because you're having a bad time, it's not fair to put it on somebody else.
That's amazing. Cameron, I think you had something you wanted to share, right?
I could probably go all day on this topic because it's so meaningful to me. Right on top of what Marie was saying, we've offered this advice before, but you come into a meeting and instead of talking and apologizing for being late, and this is right on that same kind of thing, because people are like, well, you're sick, and you're like, it's this adjustment of I don't want to bring other people down, but and I got to keep it all bottled. It's not about bottling it all up. It's about changing the way that you're stating things. Instead of saying, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sick, guys. Thank you for being patient with me. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your support. You come in late. You don't say, I'm sorry for being late. We already know you're late. Now you're wasting my time by telling me you're late again. No, say, thank you for being patient with me. Thank you for your patience, right? And so it changes the name of the game from this self-serving, I'm sorry, right, to outward focused, I'm thankful for you. I'm appreciative of you. Thank you. Right. And so that's such a big deal. And I just wanted to bring this up because on this whole positive thing, I've done a lot of interviews with Toth Event staff and the company that I own over the last 11 years. And so 800 plus interviews. And I ask every single person, what do you expect from your captain, your manager, your supervisor when you arrive on site? And it's a big deal because at least 2 out of 3, every single person that's come and sat down mentions positivity as the thing they're looking for. So if you know that about the people that are showing up to work with you, their family members, they're coming and they're looking for that positive thing. If you're not delivering that, so much of what we receive in the world is what we put out. So if you're not delivering that positivity, you're probably not going to get that positivity the way you want it back. So it's a great thing to be able to deliver that. I love what you're saying, Marie, because if we deliver that positivity, people are more likely to want to help us out and bring that positivity in our lives. And when we're sick and when we're in need, that's what we're looking for.
I want you to keep preaching on there, Cameron.
Yes.
That was great. I mean, this is awesome. And we could go on and on. We have some topics we missed and skipped over here, but it's been a great conversation. More the reason why you definitely, number one, need to come back and watch our show again next week.
Yes, indeed.
But number two, you need to connect with these amazing ladies. Go on and see some of their broadcasts that they're doing. They're doing some amazing work themselves. So, but we want to close out. Maybe just one final thought. I mean, one of the areas we didn't touch on was visualization. Maybe if there's some minor thought on that you want to talk about. Again, we're a little over already, but final thought, and then how the best everyone can reach you. And we'll start with you, Marie.
Yes, just know that you are not alone. I always say that you are beautiful, you are strong, you are intelligent, and just know whatever you're going through right now. I don't know what you're going through, but just know that it's going to pass. That all of us have different challenges that we go through in life. And I just, if you need to get hold of me, you can go to Marie, Z as in zebra, Q.com, mariezq.com. And you can have all type of resources there that you can take advantage of. And my thing is visualizing a better future. Sometimes it's hard, but just know that take some time. And just, even if you don't, just think about the things that you wish to happen in your life. 2 minutes, think about the things that you wish to happen and just take that moment for yourself every day. Okay. And you're not alone.
That's awesome. Great stuff. All right, Tanya, bring us home with, one maybe final thought and how everyone can reach you as well, please. Oh, gotcha. I'll mute you.
Sorry. I think that, my final words to you all out there listening, thank you so much for coming on here and listening. One of your biggest gifts too is your network. And I always say your network becomes your net worth. And I cannot tell you how many times my network and the number of people I've met or know or have been in my life have enriched my life in so many ways, especially when I needed it. And live a life of curiosity instead of judgment. So if you're curious about something, and I'm very curious about everything. I mean, I've done everything from plant medicine in the jungles of, Costa Rica to I've done everything, tried a lot of different things. And that has enriched my life in a way that I can't even tell you, especially if you're at your rock bottom, meet new people, try new things. Don't go into life with judgment, go into it with curiosity, and you will see how the magic will unfold. I promise.
And best way for everyone to reach you?
Oh, yes. The best way to reach me. You can go onto my website, tanyamemme.com. I have my Life Masters podcast. Marie and I also have a podcast as well. They're 5-minute moments of inspiration. We can talk more about that too. But yeah, just tanyamemme.com. Everything's there in Instagram, Facebook, Tanya Memme Official. Check me out there. And I talk a lot about all of my crazy experiences in the jungle too. So
That's awesome.
So listen in.
And you and I need to connect for sure, and have a connect call for sure as well.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah. It's amazing. And you know, I love what both of you guys had said, but what you said, and am I saying your name wrong? Should it be Tanya, not Tanya?
It's Tanya, like suntan, and
Oh,
and then Memme. A lot of people say meme, but it's Memme. But it's okay. It's good.
The name all wrong the whole show.
Doesn't bother me. Things like that don't bother me.
Yeah, I met somebody recently from Australia, and that's how they pronounce Tanya, as Tanya.
Tanya.
So I was schooled on that, so I guess I should have known. But anyway, no, I love what you said about the connection, and you know, I've shared this with our community that during COVID, I felt more connected than ever before because I was reaching out to other people and connecting with a lot of people. And
yes,
it helps so much when you just go and be others focused and just go out and connect. It's amazing how much better you feel when you isolate. You feel it's easy for negative or darkness to fester in by itself.
Oh yes.
When you go and be with other people, that light it comes in, and you're going to be in a better place. So just go connect.
And take a course online. You don't even have to leave your house. There's so many ways. I'm taking a Reiki course right now, and I'm a TV host, but it's amazing. There's so much out there now that we can connect with other people because of our computers and the internet. It's a gift.
Well, good stuff. Well, we're gonna wrap things up here. We're just super appreciative of you, Tanya and Marie, and having you guys on the show, you ladies on the show, and we're just appreciative of our community. We really appreciate everybody here. We love you guys. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, and we're doing this for you. So definitely make sure, again, you're connecting with each other. Make sure you're connecting with our amazing ladies here. And we want to end like we always do. Our mission on the show is to be the light, but we want to send you off with a crush it for sure. And so we're going to count down, 5 through 1, and then we're going to shout out crush it. You can do a fist pump if you like, and we're going to get everyone going. But I know we got a few things to talk about before we do that, right?
While you wind up your hand to get ready to count down, my folks, make sure you check in at masterconnector.show. You're going to want to check out our sponsors, Sales Connector and Blaze Your Own Trail. Wes Limos with Sales Connector, Jordan Mendoza with Blaze Your Own Trail, marketing, sales, leadership, his consulting services. We have benefited from those. Thank you for helping us out with this show, gentlemen. And then we want you to tune in next week, right? There we got the heart going now.
There you go.
There we go. We want you to tune in next week. We are very excited to have Ella Glasgow, who's a great video personality as well. Episode 86, Giving When You Think You Can't, right? We were talking a little bit about that earlier, and we're going to continue on that topic next week. So that's it. So let's count down, my friends, my family,
Ready?
my LinkedIn community. 5,
4,
4, 3, 2, 1. Go out there and crush it. All right, everybody. Have an amazing week. See you. Take care.
Bye.
He challenged me. He said, you should meet 2 or 3 people every day.
We're talking about how to level up on LinkedIn and engagement. We need to go give her the idea that being open to opportunity.
We all deal with challenges, but how do you overcome that?
Master Connector with Steve Spiro and Cameron Toth is live on air.